then, let's wrap this bitch up, shall we? Yes, indeed, namaste and all that. I hope we're all doing well. Would you care to join me as we finally put 2018 to bed? Been a bit of a weird one overall, innit? But if nothing else, it's been a good year robot-wise. I've been gifted a great many and bought even more, so we're certainly not wanting for robots. That being said, we're moving on from the whole TFX off 20X thing. 18 is too many, we're just doing 10, alright? So the way we're gonna do it is top 10 favorite robots acquired this year for whatever reason. Not necessarily robots that came out this year, just ones that I got and have enjoyed this year. So without further ado, let's see what we're doing. Kicking us off is Power of the Prime's Rodimus Unicronus. I do rather enjoy this fellow, because Power of the Prime's had a tough job following Titan's return, I think, but it still did deliver on a few treats. I've always wanted a Rodimus Prime that could be both Rodimus and Hot Rod, and I've no idea why it took this long. I'm very aware it's not perfect, the arms are a bit strange, there's all these weird sort of vestigial belly hands and that. But for me, Unicronus is the one, man. I'm just such a sucker for these colours. I know it's obvious, I'm a Decepticon boy, what am I gonna do about it? It's just so badass, man. It's like half Rodimus, half Motormaster, big awesome chunks of black and sweet juggalo-ass purple tats, and the daft Motorhead moustache. It just appeals to that part of me deep down that still kind of thinks Alchemy Gothic is pretty cool. It brings it out of me. It makes me want to get my ear pierced. But like, aside from all that, it's just a really good, fun, big, chunky, badass figure, and I'm stunned that it exists in the first place. At number 9, Studio Series Brawl. So it's been a good old year for the movies, right? With the Studio Series and especially Bumblebee, like reinvigorating the movie interest. And I did have a lot of fun reviewing Ironhide, and I really liked Blackout and Dropkick, but Brawl is something else, man. He's just everything that's great about the Studio line. Like, the transformation's genius, the detail's amazing, and he's so ugly, I love him. Also, I must say thanks to Chris Catherine on Twitter, who helped me to appreciate Brawl's face, because I always thought it just looked like a bag of smashed crabs. But Chris pointed out he kind of looks like one of those G2 guys like Fear Swoop or Clench with the weird sort of funnel mouth, and I can totally see it. I get it now. God, he's minging. Look at him. He is if Battle itself had a robot mode. He's kind of like a visual onomatopoeia of his own name. God, that's the most pretentious thing I've ever said. Speaking of pretentious, I also got this as a Christmas gift off my brother, who also lent me his Werner Herzog box set. He's like, yeah, it's fine, go ahead, I've got another one. And that's kind of all you need to know about my brother. He's the kind of person who owns 2 different Werner Herzog box sets. So we had a lovely time hanging out over Crimbo, and Brawl's imbued with Crimbo memories, so he's extra special now. I did actually also get Leader Brawl this year, but he's good for all kinds of different reasons. Like, Studio Brawl's kind of a really good, tight job, very well executed, yes indeed, and this one's kind of a big spectacular hot mess. But yes, repping the movies, Brawl's got it all. Swooping in at number 8 is RID Stormshot. I am mildly behind the curve with RID 2015, by which I mean I completely missed it and now it's over. I'm sort of feasting on the scraps of other people's collections. So I checked out a few of them this year and generally found them pretty worthy. I don't know if they're quite up to generation standard, but they're fun in their own way. And what I like about Stormshot is that he could be anyone, because I'm so into nameless, obscure Decepticons that I kind of forget that Autobots have that as well. His design is so clean and heroic. He's a little bit aerial bot. He looks like he could be mates with Topspin and Twin Twist. He's just, you know, somebody. He could legitimately fit in anywhere. And the fact that he has like a super generic off-the-shelf placeholder name just totally cements it. Stormshot? Who? So I don't know who he is, I don't know what he's for, but he looks cool and that just appeals to me. Stormshot is all of us. So number 7 is an early taste of Transformers Siege, and it's flippin' Hound, baby. This came super late in the year, and it just gives me so much hope for Siege. This is a real strong start. Like, I don't know how deep I want to get into it, because I want to save it for the review, but my god, baby, this is decent. And I was kind of resistant to it at first, because, like, I still love Universe 08 Hound, but this is like a whole different flavor of Hound, because that guy was like soft focus, environmental, nature exploration guy. And this is like pure military time Hound. Like, remember how he's a Jeep? Like an army vehicle? This version, like, puts the army vehicle aspect of Hound first, and I'm totally into it. It's just really nice because, like, I don't know what I was expecting from Siege, but I was generally feeling pretty done with the whole chug thing. Like, it's basically done all of G1 now. We're down to duocons, man. But this is honestly so refreshing. Like, I'd forgotten how dated some of the Generations ones look now. I don't know how on board I'd be for doing it all again, but honestly, Hound's got me thinking I might. You should get one. At number 6, it's Road Trap. Obviously, I love what they did with Battle Trap. The fact that they revisited Battle Trap in the first place, but also the way they did it, splitting it out into 2 different guys. I feel like it was a treat just for me. I mean, I think I covered it pretty well in my review. I didn't half go on. This is one of my guys. Just look at this little squish with all his badass blueness, and the pink windscreen is just so evocative. I know I've said all this before, I'm still into it. I hate to say it, but more often than not, once I'm done reviewing a figure, I kind of put it on the shelf and just kind of, it fades away. Road Trap, I'm still right there. It's been 7 months, I still love him. That's gotta mean something, right? He's just my favourite little Decepticon gremlin. Alright, we're back with the top 5 in a second, but first, let's check out some tunes. Sometimes you don't say goodbye once. Lost soul in the undergrave, where we're given an alpha. Hellboy calls the monster. I'm not asking for a miracle. We're looking, and I don't mind. I was a place for the fallout. I came in the name of the dead to bring my neck to the bed. Just by your eyes. Anyway, at 5, a little fun-sized serving of Siege with Micromaster Flak. I don't know if there's much to explain about this. Like, I really like Flak. I've always liked him. He was my favorite Micromaster. I just love Micromasters in general. They occupy a very specific headspace for me, and I love how they're sort of combinary target mastery minicons as well now, but basically just look the same. I love Generations, it's my thing, but I'm a bit tired of the whole G1 with knees thing. So many of them recently have just been the same, like Pants and Wingspan, the Headmasters, the Target Masters. They're all great, but they are just the same thing. And broadly speaking, I am a bit bored with it, which is why I was so happy that they did something interesting with Battle Trap. But it turns out with Micromasters, I do just want the same thing again. I just want exactly the same figure, but with knees and a couple of little features. And for me, Flak just is the best one. I don't know what to tell you. Shout out to Universe Overload, who I also got this year and is clearly supposed to be Flak. Honestly, it was a trip to get this guy as well this year, because he came from, I think, the same wave as Dropshot and like Universe Countdown and that very specific set of Chug that was all just Cybertron repaints. So it was really nice to revisit that one specific month of 2009. But for me, it's Flak all the way. Once you go Flak, you never go back. That's back in Flak. At 4, it's Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. My god, this is something else, man. Magnus is basically here by default, just for spectacle factor alone. But okay, I don't really think of myself as a masterpiece guy, because there are people who are really into masterpieces, and like for whom all of collecting revolves around masterpieces. But for me, they're sort of peripheral. Not slagging them off at all, they're just not really my focus. So basically, my entire experience of Masterpiece this year has been through Ultra Magnus. For me, this is what a masterpiece should be. It's pure spectacle. Really embodies the character. Such great fun to transform. He's so huge in truck mode. I love it. He's too big to go anywhere. I don't have a space for him. He just lives up there normally. Also, I think it was the first thing I bought at TF Nation, so represent. And like Ultra Magnus has always been very special to me as a character. As a kid watching the movie, I didn't even realize Hot Rod was the main character. I was just watching this guy. So he just hits that perfect balance of special character, awesome toy, and pure spectacle. The way I see myself as a collector, I don't really do big, lush, high-end purchases like this. So honestly, quality-wise and prestige-wise, this was my big treat for the year. He do beat Ultra. Oh, Magnus, why aren't you number 1? I don't know. I think if he had some red on his little legs here, then he'd be 100% perfect. I can't manage that currently. I am unable to attend to the situation at present. The matter at hand falls outside of my current remit. That's what he says. Cyberverse, Warrior Class, Shockwave. So I've been enjoying the Cyberverse cartoon recently. I have actually been trying to keep up with it, shocker. And like, I appreciate it so far. It's kind of a catch-all entry-level Transformers presentation slideshow. Here's the factions, here's Cybertron, here's the Matrix, here's an episode about Cosmic Rust, here's the Primes. It's like Transformers, the basics, the show. And Shockwave's the only toy I've really checked out. I still think he's a dead solid action figure, but the reason he's so high up on the list is because he got me front-paged on Cybertron cybertron.com. Yay! It's so rare I actually get some like mainstream attention because I'm always so late with everything. So for me, Cyberverse Shockwave represents a period of personal and professional growth throughout the third quarter of 2018. Yes, things have gone pretty well this year, I reckon, so thank you everybody for supporting me. Real talk, I do owe it all to you guys. But Shockwave did help me get a little bit of a leg up and got a bit of traction on the go, so thank you very much for your professional assistance, Cyberverse Shockwave. Also, the toy's quite good. Back to Power of the Primes for number 2, it's flippin' Terracon Blot. Yeah, man, I feel like Blot was kind of a sleeper hit this year. I don't think anybody really expected him to be as good as he is, and he sort of struck a chord with a lot of folks, I think, because he's such good fun. Like, his ult mode is ridiculous. I'm doing it, I'm just transforming him. But Abominus was a delight. This guy's kind of, for me, representing the Power of the Primes combiners, because I didn't do the Dinobots at all. I'm so done with Dinobots. And Predaking was great, but all the individual robots were freaking rubbish. Sorry. But the Terracons were great fun, and Blot is just something else. He's like a breakout star of the, look at this freaking guy. He's like a toe. His hands are incredible. The colors are just such great fun. Very briefly, he was just everywhere. He was kind of the megastar of the moment. And I'm just really happy that Blot had his moment in the sun. I don't know about you, but I knew almost nothing about the Terracons before this year. They were just never on my radar. And Blot just is great fun. He has that rarest of things among Generations Deluxes, where his face tells you a little bit about him. Because like the others, Ripper Snapper and Sinner-Twin and everybody just had standard robot head. But Blot is just so foul. Look at this melty, ugly, acne-ridden disgusto bot. I said what in the Blot. But yes, who would have thought I'd enjoy an obscure Decepticon yobbo? Which brings us to number 1! You're gonna hate me, it's G1 Squeeze Play. Yes, it's a largely forgotten, weird-looking blue and purple G1 Decepticon. Fancy that. But yes, I was so happy to get Squeeze Play this year. I've craved him for years. Literally since I started collecting again, I've never been able to find a good condition, complete Squeeze Play. But I got him this year as a present off my best mate, can you believe it? And he is everything I wanted. He's so awkward and stupid and ugly. Oh my god, he's so great. I wonder, actually, was it Crash Bash was supposed to be this? I wonder if that works. Haven't tried this yet. Yeah, there we go. Titan Master Crash Bash. It's supposed to be Squeeze Play. Let's see if it works. Pray for me! Yep, there we go, it works fine. Doesn't quite snug in, but it does go on. Can look around, got a bit of leeway. Yeah, there you go. It's pretty cool, isn't it? But yeah, there's just nothing quite beats the feeling of getting an old grail that you never really thought you'd get. Like, I got a lot of old stuff. I got Fear Swoop as well this year, and he's great and everything, but he was always kind of a sort of second tier curiosity, maybe one day thing. But Squeeze Play, I've been craving for a decade. Also, there was a twist in the tail. Oh my god, there was actually a twist in the tail. Because when it arrived, the head peg that plugs into the butt in the beast mode, this was on backwards. I don't know why, on how that would have happened. And like, I was briefly pure panic because I didn't think I'd ever be able to fix it and I'd have to make do with a slightly wrong Squeeze Play forever. But I did manage to fix it in the end, so now he's perfect and it's all gravy. So there it is, my number 1 favorite thing I got all year, G1 flippin' Headmaster Squeeze Play. Hell yeah. And there we go then, that's my top 10 favorite things I got this year for whatever reason. So why not let me know in the comments what were your favorite things you got this year, or do a vid of your own, why not? And I'll catch you in 2019. Hasn't this year been a frickin' headache? So that's all for now. My name's Thew. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting me in whatever way you do. I massively appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.